The Giving Grove is a program that started in Kansas City in 2013 and went national in 2017. And we are all about sustainable little orchards in neighborhoods that are accessible and walkable. In Kansas City in 2012 and before, there was a group that was really moved by understanding food access and what to do about the problem of food access. And so there was a group that got together. There were a lot of urban ag folks and community folks that came together and talked about this, and they came up with the idea of little orchards in neighborhoods that they were invited into as a perennial source of healthy calories.
I'm working with all of the neighborhoods in Kansas City where we have these Giving Grove little orchards. And since 2013, we've installed over 240 of these little orchards in neighborhoods just like this one here in Rosedale. So I work directly with the stewardship teams, and these are the folks that maintain the orchards, and also work with new sites that are looking to get orchards established. So we have orchards in schools, we have orchards in parks like this park right here. We have orchards with neighborhood associations. We have orchards with other nonprofits.
What we found is these orchards not only provide food, a 14-tree orchard can provide up to 185,000 pounds of, or 185,000 servings of food per orchard. And they also have environmental benefits. So you can sequester up to 29 tons of carbon with a little orchard like this. And it also brings together community. There are always people that want something like this, but they don't know how to start it. And so in each of our cities, we have different program managers that are there as the resource hub. And in Kansas City, it's Kansas City Community Gardens. They're the ones that started the first Giving Grove program, and they support all the 230 orchards in Kansas City, and they support the stewards. I'm a steward of this orchard because I live really nearby. And it's been an amazing experience to come here and work with the other steward who has been living in this neighborhood for years. He's in his 80s and he waters the plants, and I take care of the trees. So yeah, I think there's so much more to this than just planting fruit trees. This is a way to improve our environment, our soil biology, our air quality. We have these delicious fruits that we can have fun with and experiment with. And it's also a great way to gather people around.
We offer a lot of workshops. I always say that February is workshop month, because sometimes there are 3 or 4 workshops a week that we are teaching, from pest management to pruning, all of that. So that is one piece, is the education. The other is we help them procure plants. So oftentimes people will say, well, I want a pink lady apple, or I want a Honeycrisp apple. One of the big keys to our program is we want to make sure that these fruit plants will grow well, not only in the Kansas City area, but the Giving Grove nationally wants to make sure that these plants are disease resistant when they go into the landscape. And so that means we're using varieties that have been studied by universities. They've been bred, some of the PRI apples that are scab resistant. A lot of the pear varieties have excellent resistance to fire blight. A lot of the peach varieties have good resistance to bacterial canker, and on and on. So our Giving Groves, they vary in size from 5 trees to as many as 150 trees. So a 5-tree orchard, we have a lot of these at schools, because really schools sometimes don't have a lot of space, nor do they have a lot of bandwidth to take care of a lot of trees. And all you need is really 4 or 5 trees, and at 300 pounds of produce per tree, that's a lot of produce. So oftentimes we'll plant things like Asian pears, European pears, because they are very easy to grow. They have less pest pressure. less fungal pressure, and so oftentimes we can get a good crop of those without having any sort of sprays applied. I think, you know, a lot of people, they remember fruit trees growing up. They remember, you know, at their grandparents' house or wherever, and picking those fresh apples. And many of our stewards, they're in retirement now. And so they're looking to actively do something. Some of the stewards just want a vacant lot to look better, and they want to turn that vacant lot into something that is productive, that produces food, that gets the neighborhood engaged. They are pruning the trees at the appropriate time to prune trees, so dormant season, during the summertime. They are out there actively managing. Oftentimes they're working with a group of people, and they end up getting a lot of volunteer support.
Usually a community will be asking for a fruit tree program, and we come across organizations that don't have the personnel or the funding or the resources to start up a program, and that's where we come in. So just like we're invited into all of our orchard spaces in our community, we're invited into different cities to start programming there. Over 2 years, Giving Grove invests up to $75,000 into a city's program that they will match. And this is your Food Well Alliances, the big gardens. We have new partnerships with Tree Pittsburgh, and we're working with Tilt Alliance in Seattle. So all of these programs look very different, but what we're doing as a national organization is supporting all of these programs to make them sustainable so that those program managers can work with the stewards on the ground for the life of the trees.
So an orchard like this in an open space, this is pretty much free for the public to take. But the public needs to know when the fruit is ripe, and that's when the stewardship team steps up and will either put out, in some cases, some of our stewards, they'll put out a call blast to the neighborhood association. Right now, peaches are ripe in that particular orchard. He sent out a call blast to that neighborhood. I'm sure those peaches are gone or are going as we speak. Same with when the cherries were ripe. That happened. Here, what they'll do is they'll put some ribbons on the trees to indicate that the trees are ripe. Now, in other orchards where it's more a nonprofit, that they're actually meaning for the produce to go into a food pantry, that's not going to be open to the public, and that's going to be those volunteers for that food pantry will be picking those fruits, and then it goes to that pantry. So it's an orchard by orchard case.
We, as the Giving Grove, we have a vision to have 1,000 orchards in 20 cities for the people and for the planet. And if anybody is interested in getting involved, they can visit www.givinggrove.org for more information. Not only can you find information about how to partner with us, but we also have a ton of information about pest and disease control and harvesting and different varieties that we recommend. So I encourage you to go visit our website and find out more. You know, I think these orchards are an important piece of our community for food sovereignty and for saving green space and maintaining green space. And when we can have little spaces like this, I think it just leans into the vitality of our communities.
We hope you enjoyed this video as part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on the OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.